using social media. So I've sort of been on a
Right.
state off the grid for a while now. I
He's been what my name is.
yeah,
He's
for
been
a
OTG
while
for
now.
a while.
Exactly. Oven toaster griller for a while now.
Yeah.
But the only reason I got back to social media is for sheeple. So, and then like again, the elephant in the room is that if you motherfuckers have problem with social media, why are you using it to promote your page?
Yeah. No,
You
I
know,
see. I don't have a problem.
yeah, we're not dumb. Okay, we get the irony of this
Yeah.
episode. And then to that, at least what I'd like to say is that with
See, we are
any
hypocritical in
वो
life.
hypocritical है. That's my logical response to this. हाँ तो हम हैं ना hypocrite. क्या करेगा? बता दो क्या करेगा?
हम लोग हम लोग प्रीच करेंगे पर हम लोग
हाँ,
करेंगे
हम लोग
वही.
सुन लिया. We won't do it. We'll preach, but we won't
Yeah.
do it.
We'll preach, but
Uh,
we won't do it.
but in all fairness, what I feel is that these mediums have a great potential.
Yeah.
And like with any great energy, you know, energy or any great force that has a lot of potential, you get to decide what to do with it. You can use the resources and the time and everything, and you can get the best minds on a project and either build a nuclear bomb, or you can take all those brilliant minds together and all that money and resources and solve malnutrition. The choice is yours. Everyone has at least at least a lot of people have access to the same amount of energies. So what? Wow, I kind of drifted off. Energy
Don't,
कहाँ से आ गया? Oh, what?
you
Wow.
went places. You went
I went
places.
I went places. I have traveled. I am wiser now.
Yeah.
But I'm
I was like, nuclear bomb and
nuclear bomb,
malnutrition. ये क्या हो
Oppenheimer.
गया?
What is happening? What I think the crux of the matter is that a social media platform gives you and gives us the same kind of reach. It's just that what we choose to do with it is really going to define how we feel with it. So our way of using social media for sheeples was to actually create a safer space on the internet.
Yeah.
And that makes us feel good. Now, when I log on to the internet, I have a purpose. I'm not mindlessly scrolling. So it makes me feel good. Now I feel a little more confident and not as anxious or insecure when I'm scrolling through feeds of people, because I know now that I am scouting for people who really need help, and I'm personally reaching out to them and telling them about Sheeples, telling them that we're creating the safe space. We're here to talk to them if they need us. So social media isn't that bad now. So I guess for me, what worked
Fair.
was having a reason to use social media apart from being a cool 12-year-old.
So here's the funny thing. And again, this is one of those things that really differs, like our perspectives in general,
Mhm,
especially with social media, I'd say.
mhm.
And this is what we mean by sheeples, right? Everybody can be themselves, and everybody has their own like idea or ideology that they want to follow. And for me, social media, more than anything, at first was just for memes and fun stuff and comedy and just looking at stuff and laughing and making jokes all over the place. Even
My
on
God.
Instagram, I think I cared more about following the meme pages and laughing at
Yeah.
their content, or on 9gag or on Reddit, and just looking at stuff that I wanted to laugh at. Now, uh, and that was like what you said about mindless scrolling, right? At the time, I didn't mind it either, because I was just like, huh, it's fun, whatever. It passes the time. Um, for Sheeples to start, it kind of gave me more of a direction as well, in the sense of like, I could be creative with what I wanted to be. I could interact with people on specific matters, whether it be a fun concept, a fun idea, or just like a discussion over which show that we want to talk about, to having discussions about why anxiety is such a big problem, or what kind of how that has affected people, or how that has affected me or someone else, or whatever it might be, right? So this platform has such a diverse use to it. The only thing was we never realized it,
Mhm.
and we just saw it for what the superficial thing that we saw it for was, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the more you start working on things like this, the more you kind of start delving into understanding what the true usage of some kind of a medium is.
Mhm.
And I think one of the biggest things that taught us this was media, right? Like just learning about media and how communication platforms can be used, especially how different kinds of people use it, is what really, really, really like brought a different perspective to me, at least. I would say.
True.
Um, But yeah, I mean, like finally, I would just
Wait,
ask you
we
one
forgot talking
question.
about Twitter.
Oh, damn, Twitter, Twitter,
Twitter, the dark place
Twitter.
on the internet where hopes and dreams go to die.
I was
Like,
I was gonna say like Twitter is
people
it's
join Twitter for a whole
yeah.
different reason and they end up staying for a whole different one.
I've
Yeah.
never been able to hack Twitter, to be honest. Like I've never understood it. I've been on Twitter for a very long time. I have
Mhm.
fun on Twitter. I look at people's tweets, but I never. I mean, it's a lot of banter. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of like joking around over there. But a lot of
Like
Twitter, I've
politic
also
or
seen.
religious. Like that's all
Yeah,
I can say.
I've also seen like Twitter is very very negative, and
Oh,
it's just
I think,
drama.
yeah, I think it's the most negative place on the internet. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know about other places, but at least from what I've come across, it doesn't get darker than Twitter. And every time I log on to Twitter, and so like at least with Facebook, I can't say, or with Instagram, I can't put a blanket statement because the algorithm is very customized to
yeah,
who's using the platform. But with Twitter, I can make a blanket statement because what's trending around the world is trending around the world. It's not
hmm,
subjective. For everyone sees the same trends. And when you see the kind of comments or when you see the kind of trends, the trends are usually mostly either political, geopolitical, religious, which is a favorite in India because God, why just wait? I don't want an FIR or to get bashed off, so I'm not
so no,
being.
it's not just that, man. A lot of it is just drama between people. Like, oh, this person did me wrong. Look at all the receipts. Look at
No, like
this. Look at
like
what
they
happened.
they'll dig up like a 6 year
Yeah,
old tweet and then call somebody a hypocrite and
and that's where like the whole cancel culture aspect of stuff comes up, right? Like, oh, let's cancel this person because they said this 6 years
yeah,
ago, or
but
they did this 6 years ago, 7 years
I
ago,
think
whatever.
with Twitter, like it sort of promoted this whole of culture of giving up on
Yeah,
people without really thinking on it twice. Like something you find wrong with them, just ignore all the context
yeah,
or all the good things they did, just cancel them out of your life.
yeah.
And you have all
That
these.
that's one thing I never will understand of Twitter.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's the sad, dark, honest insight of human beings that
Yeah,
we like. I mean, like, why does news still work? Like, if a logical person were to analyze what news really is, it's just a bunch of stuff to scare you. And on the face value, you would like to conclude that, yeah, of course, I wouldn't want to watch news. News is for like dumb people. But when the news channel is
dumb.
on, when like somebody at home is watching the news, no matter how much I want to ignore it, I end up glancing at what's happening. And once I glance, I get stuck for a few seconds. Even though
Yeah,
in my head I'm like, look away, look away, look away. But I keep seeing it. And I think that's why I think a few years ago Twitter just very they rebranded themselves as a news platform. They don't
hmm.
call themselves social media no more. And I think that's a little more apt because this Twitter is very very in the moment, and it's like
That's why there are Twitter moments.
oh
They have
yeah,
that thing.
and now they have fleeting moments called fleets.
Yeah,
Wow,
fleeting thoughts, fleets.
Fleet
Yeah,
Lockwood, cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac, yeah, yeah. So I think Twitter's I really haven't found like I have positive and fond memories with Facebook, and I have like I really don't have anything. Yeah, I have positive memories with Instagram too. But with Twitter, I don't really remember. Like I think the most positive part of
I'll say I've kind
Twitter.
of positive stuff with Twitter.
What did you say that again?
I'll say I've had positive memories with Twitter and thing.
Okay,
Like
nice. My
not
only
but
positive memory is 9gag on Twitter, and I'd rather just
um
go to 9gag.com.
fair. No, so I mean, I think following people and all that, that like who I've been watching and all that, like it just when you see the fun stuff there, or when you have some friends on Twitter who you can back and forth with and just have a like stupid time pulling each
Mm-hmm.
other's legs and all that,
Mm-hmm.
that can be fun. Those are
Okay.
positive things.
Fair.
But like a lot of it, I think the only thing like there is that with that positive even being a fact, I think it's the negative that gets the most attention,
True.
and
And I think that's
that's
maybe
what's the
just
sad part.
us as people, right? Maybe it's not
Yeah,
really like I think if I look at this from a little bit of a deeper philosophical viewpoint, I think, I mean, this is me realizing this at the end of the podcast. So I have learned is that we want to make the platform bad. but we don't really want to acknowledge that it's the users that make a platform for what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on their whole are just empty boxes. But it's
Yeah.
what the creators, which is us, which is the creators and the users are, there's an overlap. It's the
Yeah.
users and creators like us, the kind of content that we're putting it out there is what is making the platform what it is. And I think in reality the problem is not Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, but it's the people using Twitter, Instagram, or
Yeah.
Facebook.
I
Wow,
I completely agree.
that hit a home run in my own head. That I
You really
am,
did hit it out of the park here.
yeah, man. Like,
Um,
whoa, what the fuck? Mark is
but you know
suddenly a
what?
good
Like
guy.
one
Mark,
one thing I would
Jack.
like to ask you with everything that we've spoken about
Yeah.
throughout, would you consider social media as a whole being something that is getting you more connected to people, or is it like putting you in your own bubble and putting you away from them, or pushing you away from them rather?
Question, because I penned it down and I put it up on our notes. So
Yeah,
just because I came up with an interesting question, my friend. Like
yeah.
I'm going to think about
No,
it.
so it's our notes. It has to be there, man. We need to ask these questions.
Oh, but dude, if I had to jump on a gun and answer, I'd say social media is actually driving people farther away, because when we have conversations with people in the real world, time is limited, right? So it's probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour at the most, and then we move on. So we can really choose to, like, show a specific side of us to them. But
Mm.
after spending 10 years on, let's say, Facebook or Twitter, you can't pretend to be somebody. Very soon, who you are is going to come out. And I think social media gives me reasons to not be in touch with people more than giving me reasons to be in touch with people. Like, I
Right.
might just go on Twitter and I'm gonna go like, fuck, you know what? This friend of mine who I thought was so cool, these are his political affinities. I wouldn't have guessed that. So I'm not going to
Mm.
talk to him no more. Or whatever, this person is objectifying women on WhatsApp, and that's not cool. I'm not going to talk to him or her anymore.
Yeah.
So I think for me, social media pushes people away, which and it sort
Uh,
of defeats the purpose of making people more connected. But what about
to,
you, Mr.
to be fair,
Officer?
like you put some really good points out, but
That's
I'd
me, Mr. Good
say,
Points. That's my swag.
why
Okay.
you said swag.
Yeah.
I'm cringing inside. I'm cringing inside.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I know for me, I think I'd say it's the opposite because I've been able to connect with people more because of social
Hmm.
media.
Okay.
I've gotten to talk to more people, especially during this time where like um, I've spoken to people about things that I never spoke to them earlier about. Like we never had conversations, or when we were in like busy with our daily lives, we were doing our own thing, and we never like got to talking to people. But because of social media, you put up a question, you ask people, you like see their stories, you respond to that, you kind of build a conversation from there. And I think I've gotten to know people a lot more because of what they're talking about or what they're doing, and seeing what they're doing and just having that conversation than like I would have gotten maybe like just through daily life and not being able to talk to them because I think that would have just kept me in a very like isolated place. i I get to know people because of social media, so I think it's a good thing that like I've been able to do that. So
You know
I
what?
would
Let
say
me
I'm
let
on
me
the other
let me
side.
ask you, like, to close this podcast. Let me ask you like an extension of the question.
Hmm.
Is that, do you think, at least in your experience or in your social network,
Hmm.
um, people online are the same as who they are offline?
Mm, maybe not always. I'd
Mm-hmm.
say I'd say that's not the case all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the more you speak to someone about
Okay.
like topics, and from what I've realized is when I have the conversation with a person, right, rather than just seeing it superficially and being like just seeing it for a second and not saying anything, when you
Mm-hmm.
genuinely go ahead and actually get to know the person more because of what they are talking about,
Fair.
you are bound to get to that real point, or at least one real point from them.
Fair.
If it doesn't have to be like everything they say is the right thing, or is the and what is right, what is wrong, it's all up in the air. But not for everything, but still.
Hmm.
But it's just like it's always gonna be like here and there we all put up some kind of facade in our daily lives as well. We aren't always like ourselves, if you really want to call it, in public all the time.
True. I mean, and
Um,
if you really go to think about it, who are we ourselves
yeah,
anyways? Like, I don't think, like, I mean, this is something I like to say often is that who we are and our creativity and our entire personality and our persona and
yeah,
the individuality is all borrowed, right? From
yeah,
movies and from people we look up to and from books and ideas and imagination. And then I think when you put it that way, and the fact that we're all anyways living vicariously of someone else, or we're all living borrowed lives, I don't think we can really judge anything and say that this is fake and this is real, because we ourselves don't know
because
how much.
you know how much they are into whatever
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
talking
hundred
about,
percent,
right?
100%. No, you're bang on, bang on, bang on. I
And
agree with it.
yeah, and there's no point gatekeeping about. And this is one of those things like people talk about, right? Oh, how can you speak about this? Like we don't know how much they like it or not, right?
Yeah,
Like
correct.
just because you like it and they like it doesn't mean like it's bad that they like it. It's fun. You get to have more conversations. You get to
Matlab, it's weird
learn
that
about.
I mean, I'm saying it's weird, but I know if we reason into it, there might be some logical explanation. But it's weird that no matter what, people want to sort of huddle together in communities of sameness.
Yeah.
People are so afraid
But the
of
funny thing is like if the moment it starts becoming less exclusive, the more they become irritated that it's getting less exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Like diversity is looked upon as threatening, right? Like if you have, let's say, a group
Yeah.
of friends and all of them listen to metal and rock, and then suddenly someone comes and says, "Hey, you know what? I like pop music," and I'm like, "What? No, wait, go away, fuck off." You'll have that. And,
Yeah.
uh, I think this is always a bizarre thing about us humans, and I'm sure I do it on many levels, and I'm not aware of it. But the minute we're challenged, the minute our perspective is challenged with like a curveball, we
Yeah.
reject it, like for some
Yeah.
reason, and which is why I never figured out Snapchat. Like I just get it, and I'm sorry,
Snapchat,
Snapchat couldn't make.
neither did I. I think I never like got into it.
I think Instagram just like Instagram went to Snapchat in its sleep and just like suffocated it, like put a pillow on its face, shot it with a silence.
It's okay. It's all gonna be
It's okay. It's okay.
okay.
Calm down, will be over quickly.
Yeah.
I think that's what that fucker did, man. He just like killed Snapchat off in his sleep. But you know what,
Yeah.
Sheeples, if you still use Snapchat big time, let us know. And let us
Oh
know
yeah.
what about Snapchat is interesting because we haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, and also let us know like what you think about the whole thing, right? Like, what are your thoughts about social media? Do you think it brings us closer? Do you think it's causing more problems or anxiety or self doubt? And if it is, can we change it? Like, I mean, I've tried to, but that's again like not the case for everyone, right? And what would
Mhm.
you like to change that factor? What do you like? What are your opinions on this whole thing? Because it's a very interesting conversation to have, right?
Yeah, we could be completely off base here. So you can call us out and say,
Yeah.
"Hey guys, you suck. It's not like that. It's like this." But let us
Yeah,
know what
like
this is, because we
yeah,
want.
we can be completely wrong, and we would love to hear your perspective on it
That's the
because
hard part about being a sheeple. You're always
yeah,
open to being
yeah,
wrong. Always on non-assuming of a godlike ego in your. Yeah, okay. Maybe saying godlike would be offensive to some. So we
uh,
probably cut it out.
Z is on his own tangents today.
You
It's cool.
know what? Being a sheeple though, like having a podcast, to every sheeple out there, it's a little tough because of the political correctness, like you want to be. We find ourselves saying things and then we cut many things off because we're like, you know what if this is offensive to some people? And
Yeah,
I mean,
and
fortunately,
it's one of those things that we need to learn as well to an extent that
and I think no matter what you do in life, you will offend somebody, right? Like there's gonna be some dude sitting in some corner of Siberia, Ukraine, Manchester, Greenland, who's gonna be like, no, 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 no.
yeah,
This is,
Manchester United fans are always going to be offended. What who said that?
I didn't say that, or I don't know.
Who said that?
Later on, you can send him poop in a parcel, like just like send him hate mail.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's the thing, man, about having a podcast is that we don't want to offend anyone. Like we're trying to be lighthearted and humorous,
yeah,
but
yeah.
If at some point we've not edited something that's caused you hurt, please let us know, and we will
Please call us out. Like we would love to get to, like
we
improve
really like
ourselves.
hearing from you all. It's so much
Yeah.
awesome fun when someone sort of writes in or just shouts out. It's good fun. Otherwise, we just
Yeah.
feel we're talking to ourselves, right?
I mean, it's still fine. We're still having fun, right? Z? We get to talk
Yeah,
more
we
than
get it.
anything else. So
We
yeah.
don't even do that enough. I love you, man. I get to talk to you.
I love you, dude.
Okay,
It's
Sheeples.
it's all bromance stuff here.
Romance stuff. This has been super fun though, and we
Yeah.
hope to see you on the article and on the pod. But until then, this is Z signing out. See you soon.
And this was OTG signing out.
Oven
Um,
toaster.
Oven
OTG.
Toaster Grill off the grill.
What was even
We
OTG?
are. It's
Interview.
our turn to go. Huh?
Now I was like, I completely forgot what OTG was. I'm like, oh, off the
Oh
grid.
yeah, off the grid. So I guess now maybe it's time for us to genuinely go off the grid
We're
now.
going to go off the grid now. See ya. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
See ya. Bye. Sheeple.